Board Chair and CEO of the Ghana National Petroleum Authority, Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, engaged in a battle of supremacy over who is in charge in the running of affairs at the corporation. Would also take you to Nigeria and tell you the mood in that country after the Independent National Electoral Commission postponed the elections by a week. Strong is your parental control in regulating what children watch on TV. We'll tell you the story of a 15-year-old girl who is addicted to telenovelas. The chair is too low. This is News Tonight. Thank you very much for your company. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. K.K. Sarpong, has accused the board chair of the firm, Freddy Blay, of undermining his authority. According to him, the NPP chairman is interfering in roles specifically assigned to the Chief Executive. The two key officials of the state entity appear to disagree on the recruitment of a procurement officer. Well, now, both leaders have been exchanging letters between themselves and the Ministry of Energy. My colleague Evans Inkum has been going through these long-worded letters, and he's joined me here in the studio. Now, what else are they saying in these letters?
Well, Keminni, before we even go into the cracks of this particular love letter, you know, this particular one was written in the month of love, February, so I would like to label it as a love letter. This is not the first time we're having such an issue, or one would say intra-organizational friction emanating from the public sector, creeping into the public domain. Remember, sometime in 2018 May, there was a similar issue that tension has erupted between the CEO of Ghana Cylinder Company, Frances Esiam, and then the board chairman. Two issues were playing out there when that particular issue or tension erupted. Indeed. We're looking at the dismissal of one Opunia Samoa, who was in charge, or the manager of finance and accounting, and of course the claim that the board chairman was abusing the company's letterhead. After that, 5 months after what happened at the Ghana Cylinder Company, we also heard the friction between the Auditor General and then the board chairman of the audit service. I'm talking about Daniel Yao Domlevo, and then of course Edwardua Ajeman. Domlevo apparently accused Ajeman of interference. Now, another 4 or 5 months down the line, we have another issue also emanating from the public sector, and this time around it's about who has the right to appoint who. and it's kind of a contention between the CEO of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation and then his board chairman, that is
Freddy Blay.
Freddy Wasimawu. I always want to use that word. That's middle name, Wasimawu Blay. Now, so there is a letter written to the board chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and it's very bulky. I mean, we are talking about a 3-page letter, and I'm not sure we'll be able to exhaust everything. But the key paragraphs. So now there's a second paragraph. It has come to my notice that some rather hurriedly arranged emergency board meetings were held on 29th and 30th January 2019 while I was away on official duty abroad. It would have at least been considerate on your part if you had indicated to me that a board meeting was going to take place, even if the subject matter would or would not concern me. And here the subject matter has to do with the appointment of a procurement officer. So what the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. K.K. Sarpong, was saying here was the fact that he was outside and a board meeting was held. When he was about leaving the country, the people knew that a board meeting was going to be held, but he wasn't informed. He went outside and a board meeting was effected, and he believed there was some level of subversion here, even though he did not state that visibly, but I mean by an extension of this particular paragraph, as far as his letter is concerned, I mean, I don't know which conclusion he will give to it if it's not subversion. Now, then he moved on to say that from the account I have received, that is in connection to the appointment of the procurement officer, which was not done. Which was not done with his involvement and all that.
I just stop you briefly. Let's speak to Steve Mantia, who is with ISODEC, and then we'll come back to the content of these letters that we have seen here at GHOne. Good evening, Mr. Mantia.
Good evening.
What's your reading into this power play that appears to be at work at the GNPC?
Well, it's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised.
Why not?
I recall, I think it was in 2017 when these two appointments were made, the board chair and the CEO appointments were made. I was the first. And I think the only person who raised serious reservations about the appointment. Not because I did not believe in the qualification and competence of the two gentlemen. These are achievers. But in terms of corporate governance, it is wrong to appoint a party chairman to become the board chair of a state commercial entity. There is a high tendency that party chairman will see his role on the National Oil Company as an extension of the party domain that he oversees.
I can't hear anything.
And if you have a heavyweight, a party heavyweight, also playing the role of CEO, then you are likely to end up with a possible clash of egos. On the other hand, if the two decide to work together, there is also the risk of the two, because the board chair becomes a check on the CEO, and the CEO becomes a check on the board chair. So if you have a situation where the two are coming from the same political party and they are heavyweights in the party, they can conspire to actually siphon the company's resources to finance party projects and party campaigns. So either way, I think it defies the principle of corporate governance. The best thing for us to have done was to have recruited the CEO through the Public Services Commission and to have gone through a competitive process and purely based on merit. Then you can decide to put anybody as board chair, and I believe what is happening today would have navigated. What is happening today is a flexing of political influence by two heavyweights in the ruling party. And that is unfortunate.
let's look at what appears to be the bone of contention, the recruitment or the style for recruiting a procurement manager. In the name of corporate governance, good corporate governance that is, who has the right to hire and fire?
The CEO. The board chair has no role unless he's an executive board chair. If he's not, he's an ordinary, in this case, he's an ordinary board chair, non-executive role. He does not get involved in the day-to-day operations of the company. That becomes the domain of a CEO. The board makes the broad policies for the corporate body, and then the CEO oversees implementation. But when you have a situation where the board chair gives direct instructions to subordinates of the CEO, that is very problematic. It undermines corporate discipline. It undermines and creates the environment for insubordination among most of the staff relative to their relationship with the CEO.
Given what you have told us already about the source of the appointment, would the solution then be firing both of them?
I think the party chair should leave. I mean, from the documents that I've actually read, it's like the CEO is not being allowed to play his role as a CEO. And it comes to me that the board chair is trying to micromanage the day-to-day operational activities of a corporate entity. That, for me, is not good enough, and it creates a very bad picture of the NPP government and their understanding of good corporate governance. Of course, some allegations have been made against the CEO by the board chair as well. I've seen some documentation and allegations being made against the CEO. Those have to be investigated. But I think a situation where a board chair does not understand its supervisory role in terms of making policies and allowing the CEO to supervise the operations, the implementation of those policies, then I think the person who does not understand his role has to give way.
Well, Mr. Mantea, I'm grateful for your time. Well, Stephen Mantea is with ISODEC. He's been giving us his perspective on this matter at hand. But before I engage him in the conversation, I was talking to Evans Inkum, who is my colleague here at the GHOne newsroom. He's been thoroughly through these letters that we have cited here as a newsroom exchange between the CEO, Dr. KK Sarpong, and the board chairman, Mr. Freddy Blay. And I'm referring to the GNPC matter on the recruitment of a procurement officer. Evans, you were telling us the letter to the board chair.
All right, so you remember Mr. Steve Mantea made mention of good corporate governance. Indeed. And the fact that who has that mandate to appoint and then, of course, disappoint as far as management is concerned. Now, in this particular letter, that was also stated, and what I'm about to read give credence to what Mr. Mantea earlier said.
Very well.
GNPC's operative organogram gives direct supervision of the procurement function to the general manager in charge of administration, who reports, however, to the chief finance officer. Having oversight of the procurement function does not make the chief finance officer the appointing authority under the rules and regulations of GNPC. And this is coming from Dr. KK Sarpong. I wish to reiterate that the responsibility for hiring personnel lies within the purview of the chief executive. Indeed. And not the chief finance officer. I have already advised Ms. Comfort Enieji, chief finance officer, that she has no mandate to recruit personnel, notwithstanding your directive, unless I express it. So your here was referring to Freddy Blay. Unless I expressly instruct her to do so, I wish to state emphatically that any appointment of a procurement manager by the chief finance officer which has not been sanctioned by me will be nullified. Your directive notwithstanding.
But the board chair disagrees. In fact, in his letter, he says that ordinarily he will not dignify the CEO's letter with a response. But he did. What did he say?
Well, so what the board chairman it's also saying is that there have been some infractions, according to him. There have been some infractions. This particular letter was written to the CEO, I think, somewhere February 4th. There have been some infraction as far as his handling of his office is concerned. That has given him the reason for him to intervene in certain issues.
Very well. We'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much, Evans. William Evans Inkum is assignment editor here at the GHOne newsroom. If you would like to read the full letter, you find it on my page on Facebook. Just search my name. Let's move on to Nigeria. Now, Nigeria has delayed its presidential and parliamentary elections for a week in a dramatic nighttime move. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission made the announcement just 5 hours before the polls were due to open on Saturday. INEC Chairman Muhammadu Yakubu said the difficult decision to postpone was needed to ensure a free and fair vote. Take a listen.
Following a careful review of the implementation of its logistics and operational plan and the determination to conduct free, fair and credible elections, the Commission came to the conclusion that proceeding with the election as scheduled is no longer feasible. Consequently, the Commission has decided to reschedule the Presidential and National Assembly elections to Saturday, 23rd February 2019. Furthermore, the Governorship, State House of Assembly and Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections are rescheduled to Saturday, 9th March 2019. This will afford the Commission the opportunity to address identified challenges in order to maintain the quality of our elections.
Well, that was the initial announcement from the INEC chairperson, Mahmoud Yakubu. Let's now speak to Akinwumi King. He's a senior political reporter with the Daily Independent in Nigeria. Good evening, King.
Good evening.
I can imagine that the people of Nigeria obviously are disappointed by the announcement from INEC. But really, what has the conversation been about the postponement?
Okay. Hello.
King, I'm asking, what has been the talk around the postponement of the elections?
Can you be a bit audible? I'm not hearing you clearly.
I'll give it another try. I am asking, what has been the talk amongst the people of Nigeria as far as the postponement of the elections is concerned?
Yeah, like you rightly said, a lot of Nigerians are disappointed because they've been, the preparation was in top gear. Everyone was ready. We slept last night with the hope that this morning we wake up and we go to the polls, but alas, we woke up this morning to the news that the election has been postponed, and it was a serious disappointment for a whole lot of Nigerians. We are not happy. I know of a man who had to leave his home to go and sleep in a church with his family, all because he couldn't vote from his house where he registered was, far from his house. And due to the restriction of movement this morning, he had to leave last night to go and sleep in a church close to where he registered. But this morning he woke up and he woke up to the news that the election had been postponed. It was a big disappointment for a whole lot of Nigerians. Many are not happy, and some have said they are not even going to participate. Whatever date the commission chooses again, they are not going to participate. So I can, categorically tell you that a lot of people are very disappointed.
Very well, King. Has the INEC provided any reason for the postponement beyond it telling us that 16 February is no longer feasible?
Yeah, the chairman of the commission addressed the nation this afternoon about 3 hours ago, and he gave a lot of reasons. Though some of the reasons was genuine, but some of them we see them as not tenable. According to him, he said they had problem of logistics, which he really did not expatiate on, and he gave some other reasons that have to do with court cases arising from the primaries that were held. Some of the courts had to give judgment up to yesterday that some of the parties should be accommodated in the election. And I wouldn't want to blame the commission in that aspect, because you can't tell somebody that is ready, to conduct an election. Names have been printed, parties have been printed on ballot papers. There were states where the commission has said some parties are not going to be represented, in some of these states. But as I said today, the court was still giving a judgment that some of these parties should be accommodated. So the chairman of the commission gave so many reasons as to why the postponement was necessary. But it has happened. What can we do? It has been postponed. We are waiting till next Saturday. Hopefully, we hope there won't be any issue again.
Very well. Now, since the announcement, we've had the INEC, we've had the ruling APC, and the biggest opposition, the PDP, ask supporters or the people of Nigeria to remain calm until February 23rd. How has that call been heeded to so far?
Can you come again, please?
I'm asking the calls for calm since the postponement of the election. How have the Nigerian people responded to those calls?
Obviously, we should commend the people, we should commend Nigerians, because if this should happen in some other line, it should have resulted to violence. But since the announcement was made, it was made overnight around 2 a.m. So many people didn't get to hear about it until this morning. And since they heard about it, the situation has been calm. Everyone has been going about their businesses, doing one thing or the other. It's just that the atmosphere has been so quiet. On a normal Saturday, there are engagements here and there, weddings, ceremonies here and there, but everywhere has been so quiet. But people are going, about their normal businesses. Everywhere is calm, no violence, and we thank God for that.
Very well, King. I am grateful for your time. Keminni King is a senior politics reporter with the Daily Independent in Nigeria. We have been discussing the Nigeria elections. We'll bring you tidbits, snippets of events happening in Nigeria in subsequent broadcasts here on GHOne television. Now, speaking of television, the addiction to it is one of the growing psychological effects. If not checked, could have dire consequences on us, particularly our children. And with adult content raging on almost every TV program, well, except for the news, the big question is, how can parents safeguard their wards from the negative influence of television viewing? In the following report, Destios Frema Treme tells the story of a 15-year-old girl who is addicted to telenovelas and how her parents are helping her deal with it.
As children grow and develop, they can easily be influenced by what they see and hear, especially on television. While television programs can be educational, many children watch too many television without proper or no supervision from parents or guardians. With the advent of adult content on TV, children are highly exposed to alcohol and drug use, smoking, and sexual behavior before a child is emotionally ready to understand these issues and practice good decision-making. Although some children watch television with the supervision of their parents, but 15-year-old Eunice, who is addicted to telenovelas, says she becomes so saddened when she is being prevented to suit her interest.
I sometimes tell her that I want to watch this movie or maybe this program, and if she says yes, I sit and watch with her. Sometimes she says she's going to the room. But if she still insists on us watching the same movie, I sometimes get angry. Go out. Sometimes I just lay on the bed, wondering why my mom doesn't allow me to watch the movie I want to watch.
A clinical health psychologist, Dr. Isaac Newman Arthur, noted that psychologically, people can be affected and influenced by what they watch.
Yes, generally, physically we grow. Mentally, we also grow, and people's social interactions and mental health is affected by natural body processes and also their interaction with the environment through their five senses. So whatever people are watching on television and how long they engage themselves in TV programs affects how they think, how they feel, and how they behave. So for children grow physically, they also grow mentally. And so their engagement with TV also affects this growth. So it does.
Some parents, on the other hand, also admitted that their failure to play a supervisory role on what their children watch on TV has had a negative influence on them.
We always ensure that we are watching right things that will go down with them. For example, one of our kids, he likes watching this wrestling, and we've spoken to him several times that it is not good. As a child of God, you need not to be watching wrestling. So I think for some time now he has stopped, and instead of watching wrestling channels, he either tuned to soccer.
Others also had a different opinion.
Baby, how much TV ne to baby? I'm thinking catch you say baby TV ne dan de mama hwe na moa mo nhwe baby a omo ade a omo ye na ba wo mu a ofa obetima afade abo bra ana TV kwa film kwa na omo yi a utimu se film we omo yi de da china sim bibi esi ye e na omo de ye saa film no enti me hwa a nso da akyem de bebo mo bra enti me mo hwe ne ma ensem fata e wo TV so obi yi omo no yi omo me ma mfa me TV nto oda ene e won hwe a me ma mo dum no na watena ase
me ma na kasa de apart from toys no ana se bia sometimes stations ni ba wo de to won se nkwala no sua ade e bi mo bisa mo questions ni ade baby sa ndem mo hwe. But apart from say free school beba me mo share toys asa me ni program bia me che me man so mo hwe.
Parents admitted that due to their busy lifestyle, it is imperative that government institutions like the National Media Commission should regulate the content TV stations show to help protect children from TV programs deemed not suitable for their consumption.
The government can regulate the view of certain programs, especially where children are concerned. I think that will help if they can regulate certain films that are shown, which does not augur well for the children, especially in their studies and those kinds of things. I think it will help. If it's adults, well, fine, but children, you really have to regulate whatever they watch on the telly.
Now, 34% of residents in rural communities in Ghana practice open defecation, while about 21% use unapproved sanitation facilities. As a result, communicable diseases are high in rural areas. An international NGO, World Vision, is therefore implementing a community-led total sanitation program to improve sanitation in rural parts of the eastern region. The first 5 beneficiary communities have achieved open defecation free in the Fantiaka South district.
5 rural communities in the Fantiakwa South District of the Eastern Region have been declared open defecation free following a $100,000 community-led total sanitation CLTS program implemented by the World Vision International in Ghana. The communities Drenase, Abompe, Dome, Jamponi and GHOne met the criteria of achieving open defecation status at her assessment and verification exercises conducted by the District Intercoordinating Committee and final certification by the Regional Intercoordinating Committee. At least 80% of households in the communities have toilet facilities attached with hand-washing toolkits, good waste management system. Also, there are no exposure to human excreta in the communities. To consolidate these achievements, residents have resorted to awareness creation and vigilance to ensure that nobody engages in open defecation in their communities.
Well, you see, funny help for no coming. Nahan Mahoney didn't encoy. But if you be me, me, stand a workable, we are said, they say, come on, Matipa. If I be a woman, Yamapa said,
At Deba, to celebrate the achievements of the communities in Drenase, the Fantiakwa clustered manager of World Vision International in Ghana, Christopher Teye, said steps have been taken for 6 additional communities to be enrolled onto the CLTS program to also achieve OPDF. He, however, called on the District Assembly to support the organization by enforcing its bylaws on sanitation and invest in sanitation infrastructure needed to sustain the gains made.
We must say that in order to sustain the gains that we've made currently, we will need the support of the District Assembly, chiefs, elders, and other stakeholders, community leaders as well, to help in improving the sanitation conditions in the communities in which we work.
The target 6.2 of the Sustainable Development Goals seeks to achieve access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all and end open defecation with special attention to the needs of women by 2030. World Vision, aside the sanitation project, has supported residents in the Fantiakwa district with 30 boreholes, 2 merchandised water supply systems, and constructed 6 institutional latrines with menstrual hygiene facilities for schools.
On November 5 this year, there was a massive demonstration at Adenta after a vehicle knocked down a first-year student of the West Africa Senior High School. Now, the situation led to the livid community residents calling on government to construct the 6 uncompleted footbridges on the Medina-Adenta-Ebri Highway. Following this demonstration, government promised to get the footbridges fixed by April this year. So my colleague Nanachia Boache visited the project site and reports even though the project is going on steadily, it may delay maybe by a month.
This is how work is ongoing at one of the 6 footbridges on the Medina-Ebri Highway. These workers here are busy at work, mixing concrete and carrying out other wood and metal works. They have an April deadline to meet to ensure that the footbridge they are working on is completed on time and ready to use before the period. After the deadly Adenta protest, government assured residents that the footbridges will be completed by April this year. But it seems the completion of the project may delay by a month from April to May. The site engineer, Emmanuel Gaspar, tells me that the project was awarded to his company, Core Construction, in December last year. But funds were released this year, January, for work to start, and per the contract terms, they are supposed to complete the project and hand over to government by May this year.
So far, on the left-hand side, you can see we have erected all the columns to the right level. Now we are preparing the ground so that we can start with the slump. You see, the ramp. Before you do the ramp, you have to prepare the floor, the ground where your scaffold, the acrojack will sit firmly before you put the the formworks at the top, and then the reinforcements come in. They will prepare with the concrete at the top. The right-hand side, there's a certain portion which we have challenges there, and the highways are trying to redesign that portion for us so that we can continue over there.
An excavator operator at the site, Ibrahim Odonko, also spoke about the pace of work at the project site.
At the other place, we have already erected the pillars. Here we are now going to erect the pillars. But we are believing within next week we'll finish erecting those pillars. We are not facing any challenge here. The only challenge is the place we are working. There is no enough space. So it look as if everything is delaying. But with how work is going on here now, I believe within 2 months everything will be done.
But for residents here at Adenta, life must go on, and many continue to cross the highway at the peril of their lives. They told the news team the project is delaying.
Compare from Atomic Junction up to Adenta barrier. Differences and contempt.
Police for now, almost mumba jina kawahano. Almost say school for Kwana mumba jina kamomo. And no munkwan. Yeah, you are Hanuso. Yes, a mujina kanumai. Bamuba. Omeja kanu stop it. No more jano HT cans. No more jajumana umaba yeno. No more jajumana to and yet.
This notwithstanding, residents are still hopeful that the project will be completed soon so they can have some respite crossing the road.
We'll take you to Choko, where residents are calling on the government to start work on an abandoned 4-story health facility in that community. Now, the facility completed will address the health needs of residents in the community. Baba Frimpong has more in the following report.
Choko is an ancient community in the Greater Accra region and a densely populated area. The community lacks basic social amenities, with healthcare facility being the salient. Residents are compelled to travel to other communities to access healthcare delivery, a situation many find unacceptable. A healthcare facility intended to serve the needs of residents of Choko and surrounding communities in the capital have been abandoned and left uncompleted for several years now. The project, which was started by Alfred Oko-Vanderpoy, former mayor of Accra under the Eswell Mahama administration, came to a complete halt after the change of government. A tour to the site and the news team caught up with some residents removing construction materials for an unknown purpose. Efforts to ascertain reasons for their actions yielded no results, as they were unwilling to volunteer information.
No chulaji wa chana bachewo. O money awo igbake money ke badu motion ke wo chunu di honorable. Leji money ke badu motion ko ni wo chunu. Ni ji honorable ni ji assemblyman ni obi leji ke badu motion ko ni wo famu. She dey get one famu ke hambo just one famu. Can they cafeteria no one wo famu.
Several of the steel bars used in constructing the building are rusting due to the effects of the sea breeze. Some concerned residents who spoke to the news team appealed to government to reconstruct the building and save it from the imminent collapse.
We're just calling on the GHOne. We're just calling on all the big men in Accra. So Choko could also have a way in terms of our health situations. We are really dying out of these issues. We're pleading with them. We have so many things that have stand up as challenges, but we're only calling on them. We have always believed that governance is a continuous project. We cannot watch government money go waste like we all saw. When we got up there, you could see all the iron rods going waste. Are we going to break down the thing before new ones are fixed? Who suffers? It is the taxpayers that suffers most to some of these things. So we are only pleading with government. We are begging of them so they come to our aid. We also have a better way to society.
When I buy a community, yeah, hospital in about money, clinic here, about wow, but what you mean? You buy when you are wouldn't go be while a way. Go in for the bar, why wolf I call distance here, Jacob. I look with plan showing a bios in a plan. I look for a clinic, Jacob. As our clinic, Griffy side here. Ona gele nye fi long process la join iba wa wo. Shilan we fi long process. Ya wo ka won ya wa logo. To dani wa sho. Lo na gbaji clinic na ma ne iba wa wo.
They were also worried as they have to travel long distances to access healthcare, a situation they find unacceptable.
Because Choco I'm a boy illiterate. The make up by a Vietnamese school down. Shall feel like a make or may baby. It was one time hospital and I mean, here banana channel, na mawo, like a one pin.
Na about voter, Akufado, a care about channel. Na me fair, I make about channel. She never shall call a woman channel, do I miss your machine. No one can Akufado fight, care about power, about Chacolibona.
Residents believe the completion of the facility will help improve healthcare in the community and are appealing to government to act immediately.
You're watching News Tonight. We'll be right back.
As if one was not enough, not two but three of your favorite electronics and home appliances brands are combining powers to bring you the Electroland Triple Treat promotion. Hey babe, this bronya, buy your 32-inch Samsung satellite TV for 999 Ghana cedis. Those tall 500-watt Bluetooth speakers for 1,399 Ghana cedis. Nasco TV for 699 Ghana cedis. The standing freezer for 1,699 Ghana cedis. And the fan for 139 Ghana cedis. And you also get that media display fridge for 1,799 Ghana cedis. High tech. This bronya, you go shopper tire. Sake of Electroland is giving you that triple treat discount and freebies when you buy Samsung, Media or Nasco. Visit our all-new premium showrooms on the Springtest Road, Kumasi, Kasi Road, and Takrade. Awesome! Visit us now. Electroland Bronya Triple Treat promotion they wait you.
The Ghana Trade Fair Company brings you the 23rd Ghana International Trade Fair under the theme Made in Ghana, Globally Accepted. Date 28th February to 11th March 2019. Checked. Venue, the Ghana Trade Fair Company Law. Checked. What's next? You have to register. Yes, today. Agriculture, fashion, food processing. Check ekrasi.com. Tourism, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and just any product or service. Rush to register. Exhibit, sell, network, and be globally accepted. Get involved in the 23rd Ghana International Exhibition. Call
0241 818658, 0555 528817, or 0552 474632.
Or visit www.tradefairgh.com for further inquiries. Made in Ghana, globally accepted. Sponsors, media partners.
This February, there is love in the air and romantic dreams come true. Imagine exchanging your wedding vows 30,000 feet in the sky. GHOne TV, in collaboration with Africa World Airlines, is making this lovely fairy tale come true for a lucky couple in the Love in the Air Valentine promotion. Are you a couple ready for the altar, or do you know a couple ready to say I do? Simply send your love story to short code 1747 on all networks. You can also nominate your favorite couple to win this amazing opportunity. One lucky couple will have a romantic wedding in the air with GHOne TV and Africa World Airlines Love in the Air promotion. Remember, terms and conditions apply.
This is Ultimate High School Quiz. Even if you are losing, lose in dignity. Any person who resists the abrogation and overthrow of Constitution commits treason. True or false? False. Come again. True. Parliament has the right to declare Ghana as a one-party state under the 1992 Constitution. True or false? False. My brother, the answer is false. The answer is false.
We have worked with, over the years,
united by the goal of moving South Africa forward.
Seko, don't create your own questions and answers. Identify this landmark. Jacha Pramso.
Wise of Ahu Tongariki.
Ahu Tongariki, I will give it to you. Correct.
GHOne TV, your best experience.
Well, before we take you to the Elisa hotels for the duvet experience, let's take you to the Ashanti region, where the Electricity Company of Ghana has commissioned 3 major projects in Kumasi to improve electricity power supply to its customers across that region. The projects include a network intensification project, a newly constructed material warehouse, and the AFDB electricity distribution system reinforcement and extension project. Ultimate FM's Isaac Bediakom has the rest of the story.
The special grid intensification project is broken down into 210 packages covering over 900 communities across ECG's operational areas in the country, and the total cost of the project is about $80 million. In this project, Ashanti region is benefiting from 63 packages, representing 27% of the total package. According to the Managing Director of ECG, Engineer Samuel Boachiapia, the project will lead to a significantly appreciable level of improvement on the performance of ECG distribution network in the entire Ashanti region, such that disturbing frequent interruption, popularly called DUMSO, will abate considerably.
I'm aware that the project will lead to a significantly appreciable level of improvement in the performance of ECG distribution network in the entire Ashanti region, such that the disturbing frequent interruption in various communities, that is the isolated interruption of supply that pockets of communities within our distribution network are experiencing, will abate considerably, and thereby leading specifically to reducing the distribution system losses, technical and commercial, reducing the frequency of duration of outages, improving voltage level at the end user level, and increasing network capacity.
The Deputy Minister of Power, William Oreku Edu, indicated that government administration is committed to extending electricity power supply to all newly developing communities across the country. He assured Ghanaians that the NPP government will ensure that all rural communities in Ghana get electricity power supply by the end of 2020. This, he said, will promote business growth in the country. He assured ECG staff that the current change of management underway will not render any of the staff jobless.
ECG is not going to die. ECG will continue to be the asset owner of all of these. And PDS is coming in as a private sector participation, a partner of a Ghanaian majority shareholding. Ghanaians are going to have 51% of the shareholding, and the Meralco and other entities are going to own 49%. I'm sure you are all aware, nobody is going to lose their job by way of deployment. No, everybody within ECG will continue to enjoy the same benefits, if not better, that they are enjoying right now.
Bantamahini Bafo Asariamankwetia V, who represented Otumfo Oseitu II, commended management of ECG and the government for investing in electricity power supply in the Ashanti region. He called on the ECG staff to remain focused in the supply of efficient power to their customers in the region, adding that ECG should also step up its game in educating their customers on power conservation methods.
International news is next. Now, suicide attack on Indian forces in Indian-administered Kashmir has triggered a wave of hate and revenge attacks against Kashmiris residing in different parts of mainland India. Passions have been running high against Kashmiri Muslims since Thursday when 20-year-old Adil Dar rammed his car filled with explosives into a convoy carrying Indian paramilitary forces, killing 42 of them. Pakistan-based group GHOne claimed responsibility for the attack, the deadliest in nearly 30 years of the Kashmir conflict. The separatist rebels are fighting for the independence of all Muslim-majority Kashmir, while some wanted to become a part of neighboring Pakistan. Time to take you on a duvet experience. Well, if you didn't get your ticket for duvet, it just may be too late for you to do so. But it's happening today. It started really at the Lisa Hotels here in Accra with host of duvet, Miss Nancy and her friends. But let's take a look at what you could be missing from now till 10 p.m.
The day might be over, but the real deal is yet to start. The duvet experience brings the icing on the cake this Saturday as it wraps up the Valentine's Day and weekend celebrations with an enticing list of activities, especially for the lovebirds. In the midst of finger-licking delicacies, a fine selection of well-experienced speakers will be talking about the theories of love, the practicality of its implementation, and as well be giving out feasible solutions to the many issues affecting couples. The Q&A session will also afford audience and attendees the opportunity to interact with the speakers and to deliberate and share some of their most illicit and intimate tips in leveling up their love game. Regardless, there can never be a night of love without the serenading voices with all the sensuality it comes with. The likes of GNPC, Kwesi P, Yaya, Efriye Wuta, Nabelvi and others are on standby to indulge audience with the right voices and lyrics.
Well, so if you're not at the duvet experience, then you're missing out big time. But we'll tease you with some pictures on social media. Find us there, GHOne Television. My name is Keminni Amanor. Have a duvet evening. Good night.
On the 16th of February, let GHOne TV take you on a journey of pleasurable intimacy at the Duvet Experience happening at a Lisa Hotel at 4 p.m. sharp. There will be good music by some great Ghanaian musicians like GNPC, Yaya, Kwesi P. Learn more about love, your sexuality, and how to use them to your advantage in our Love Forum. Trust me, you don't want to miss the sex education. That's not all. There'll be spicy exhibitions to discover your salacious side, titillating kizomba dance lessons, and if you are single and looking for that soulmate, Duvet Experience has got you covered, and there will be lots more. Remember, it's happening at a Lisa Hotel on the 16th of February. For tickets reservations, call 050-903-5494, 050-156-7995, 0560-737374. It's going to be a fun time you won't forget. GHOne TV's Duvet Experience, an event that will keep you asking for more.
Duvet Experience is proudly brought to you by GHOne Salon and Spa, Aha Intimate, Beautiful Beneath, Golden Tree Chocolate, Beauty Bowl Salon and Spa, Special Energy, Maristops Ghana, Children by Choice, not Chance, Marina Mall. Visit Marina Mall for a Cupid touch this Valentine. Maha Beach Resort and Unidas Condom. Certain moments should last longer.
Oh, my baby, oh, you want the... me, there are a lot of people who will become hypocritical about sex because it's been made to look like a dirty thing.
I'm very traditional about things like that.
If you're using capital punishment as a deterrent to stop criminals from doing bad things, it won't stop.
It's part of an act. There's some things that we wear for performance sake, but it's not necessarily that every day we're wearing hot pants walking up and down.
Bottom line is, I think black people still need to be visible.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Indecent exposure is a crime, and that's why, depending on your upbringing, there's some things that you will never actually depart from if it's not a part of you.
GHOne TV, your best experience.
The agenda is grace.
Grace is not a license to sin, but grace have a license to erase every sin.
The word is grace.
I live right because I don't take his grace light.
The apostle is the apostle of grace.
You are not accepted because you are gifted or you are talented. You are accepted because of the sacrifice that he accepted.
Get ready to encounter grace.
There is more grace that activates mercy than your mess.
The Radiant Place presents Grace Pulpit with Apostle Emmanuel Inku, showing this on every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and Wednesdays at 5:30 a.m. right here on GHOne TV.
GHOne TV, your best experience.
This is ultimate high school quiz. Even if you are losing, lose in dignity. Any person who resists the abrogation and overthrow of constitution commits treason. True or false?
False.
Come again. True. Parliament has the right to declare Ghana as a one-party state under the 1992 constitution. True or false?
False.
My brother, the answer is false. The answer is false.
We have worked with, over the years, united by the goal of moving South Africa forward.
Seko. Don't create your own questions and answer. Identify this landmark. Jache Pramso.
Wise of A.W.W. Tongariki.
A.W.W. Tongariki, I will give it to you. Correct.
GHOne TV, your best experience.
This February, there is love in the air and romantic dreams come true. Imagine exchanging your wedding vows 30,000 feet in the sky. GHOne TV, in collaboration with Africa World Airlines, is making this lovely fairy tale come true for a lucky couple in the Love in the Air Valentine promotion. Are you a couple ready for the altar, or do you know a couple ready to say I do? Simply send your love story to short code 1747 on all networks. You can also nominate your favorite couple to win this amazing opportunity. One lucky couple will have a romantic wedding in the air with GHOne TV and Africa World Airlines Love in the Air promotion. Remember, terms and conditions apply.
Fly away, fly away.
It is the biggest social lifestyle show on the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, this is FNF TV. Check it out.
Interesting, right? Well, that is the old season of Family and Friends TV.
We've got more exciting stuff on the new season of Family and Friends TV.
This season, we've switched up higher. All the fun on the show.
The glitz and the glamour.
More family, lots of friends.
It's all new and better fun with your favorite celeb hanging out with us.